There's something in you that already knows. Not your skeptical mind analyzing every word, not the part trying to figure this out. Something deeper. So let that part listen first. I know your mind is already asking questions, doubting, measuring this against everything you've been taught about what's real and what's not. That's fine. I'm asking for an agreement. Experience first. Analyze later. Just 90 seconds. That's all. Because what I'm about to show you can't be proven with logic. It has to be felt in your body right now in real time. So here's the test. Close your eyes for 15 seconds. Bring your attention to your hands. Feel the tingling, the warmth, the subtle buzz of aliveness moving through your palms. That's not just sensation. That's energy organizing itself into the experience you call matter. Your hands aren't solid objects, they're patterns of movement, frequencies humming at speeds your eyes can't catch. And if you're the one feeling that movement, sensing that energy, witnessing that aliveness, then what are you really? Are you the matter? Or are you the field perceiving it? Stay with that question. Because the moment you recognize yourself as the awareness behind the sensation, not the sensation itself, everything changes. And what comes next will prove it. Let me make this simple. Seeing yourself as energy isn't about believing some mystical idea or adopting a new philosophy. It's about noticing something you've been doing your whole life without realizing it. You are the field that perceives, not just the object being perceived. You're not the thoughts passing through. You're the awareness watching them. You're not the body sitting here. You're the presence animating it. And the moment you shift your attention from identifying as the dense, solid, separate thing to recognizing yourself as the spacious, alive, connected field, reality responds differently. This video is going to show you exactly how. You'll hear real stories of people who tested this and watched their bodies, relationships, and circumstances reorganize in ways that don't make sense from a material worldview, but make perfect sense when you understand how energy works. I'll give you accessible analogies, practical tools, and a step-by-step protocol you can use today to feel the shift yourself. No jargon, no belief required. Just simple experiments with measurable results. Changes in your breath, tension, presence, and the way the world shows up around you. The rules are simple. Test it, observe what happens, and let your own experience be the proof. Because this isn't theory, it's physics, and you're about to feel it. Place your hand flat against any surface right now. Feel that solidity? That's the greatest illusion your body has ever sold you. What you're touching isn't dense matter holding itself together. It's a pattern of energy vibrating so fast, so consistently, that your nervous system translates it as solid. Think of a ceiling fan spinning at full speed. Individual blades disappear, and all you see is a blur, a barrier. Your hand, that table, the walls around you, they're all spinning blades. And the space between? Pure potential, waiting for a different frequency to shape it into something else entirely. Here's where it gets wild. Scientists zoom into your palm, past skin, past cells, into atoms, and what do they find? Emptiness. If an atom were the size of a football stadium, the nucleus would be a marble at the center, and the electrons? Tiny grains of sand orbiting the outer seats. The rest? Void. Your body is 99% empty space held together by invisible forces, by energy moving in patterns. That solid experience you've trusted your whole life is just matter obeying a frequency, like iron filings arranging themselves around a magnet. Change the field, and the pattern shifts. Change your internal frequency, and your reality responds. Now picture a speaker playing a deep bass note with a tray of gelatin sitting on top. Watch the gelatin ripple, reshape, dance to the vibration beneath it. That's your life. You are the speaker, your state is the frequency, and everything you call reality is the gelatin molding itself to match. When you walk into a room tense, contracted, holding your breath, that's a frequency. When you enter calm, open, breathing into your back, that's a different frequency. And the room, the people, the opportunities, they reorganize, not because you manifested them with wishful thinking, but because coherence in your field creates coherence in your experience. Think about Wi-Fi for a moment. You can't see it, touch it, or taste it. Yet it organizes data across space, pulling information from thin air and delivering it to your screen. Your body works the same way. You are a transmitter and a receiver, constantly broadcasting a signal and picking up matching signals from the environment. When you see yourself as dense matter, stuck, limited, separate, you emit that, and the field around you reflects it back. Closed doors, dead ends, friction. But when you recognize yourself as energy first, matter second, the signal changes. Doors you didn't notice before suddenly appear. Timing aligns. The universe stops resisting and starts cooperating. Here's the metaphor that lands deepest. You're not a wave on the ocean. You are the ocean, expressing itself as a wave. The wave rises, crashes, dissolves back into the hole, but it was never separate. Your body is the temporary wave, the form that lets you play in time and space. But the real you, the awareness reading these words, the presence feeling your breath right now, that's the ocean, infinite, formless, pure potential. And once you feel that, really feel it in your bones, the rules change. Because solid things break. But energy bends, flows, and reshapes itself endlessly. And what I'm about to show you next will prove this isn't philosophy. It's something you can test in your own body in the next 2 minutes. Let me tell you about someone who proved this in the most unexpected way. She sat in a clinic waiting room, medical report in hand, numbers on the page telling her something was deeply wrong. The diagnosis wasn't terminal, but it was limiting. Chronic inflammation markers through the roof, symptoms piling up, doctors recommending medications that would manage the condition. She felt the weight of that word, manage, not heal, not reverse, just cope. And in that moment, staring at those lab results, her body felt heavier than ever, like the paper in her hands had added 10 pounds to her chest. But here's where the story shifts. Instead of spiraling into worry, she did something strange. Sitting there in that sterile room, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, she closed her eyes and dropped into her body. Not to fight it, not to fix it, just to feel it. She let her shoulders fall, released her jaw until she felt a tiny click of tension dissolve, and began breathing into her back, slow and deep. Then she did the thing that changed everything. She stopped identifying as the body with the problem and started recognizing herself as the energy animating it. She felt the aliveness in her hands, the warmth beyond her skin, the field of presence that didn't care what the lab report said. 3 minutes. That's all it took. She sat there, breathing, feeling, not naming or analyzing, just being the awareness beneath the worry. And when she opened her eyes, nothing in the room had changed, but something inside her had. The contraction was gone. The heaviness had lifted. She felt spacious, like the matter of her body was floating in something vaster. 2 weeks later, she retook the tests as part of a follow-up. The inflammation markers dropped by 60%. Symptoms that had plagued her for months, fading fast. Her doctor called it spontaneous improvement. She called it something else, proof that the state you emit shapes the body you experience. Now, I'm not saying this is a magic cure or that you should ignore medical advice. This is anecdotal. One person, one moment, one shift. But here's what's not anecdotal. The pattern repeats. When you stop collapsing into the density of the problem and start resting in the energy beneath it, the body responds. Not because you thought positive, but because coherence in your internal state sends a different signal to every cell. Stress hormones drop. Inflammation pathways quiet. The autonomic nervous system shifts from defense to repair. You become the field that organizes matter instead of the matter trying to survive the field. This is the part most people miss. She didn't focus on fixing the problem. She didn't visualize healthy cells or repeat affirmations. She simply stopped contracting around the identity of sick body and rested in the recognition of alive energy. That shift, from contraction to coherence, from worry to presence, is the most potent medicine you'll never find in a pharmacy. And if a 3-minute practice in a waiting room can do that, imagine what happens when you make it a daily rhythm. Because what I'm about to show you next explains exactly why this works, and how your identity doesn't just influence your body, it organizes everything around you like an invisible broadcast tower. Your identity isn't who you think you are. It's what you're broadcasting right now in this exact moment. Think of yourself as a radio station. You're not transmitting thoughts or wishes into the void. You're emitting a frequency made of posture, breath rhythm, the tension in your jaw, the pace of your heartbeat. And here's the thing about frequencies. They don't ask permission. They just attract matching signals. Walk into a room feeling scattered and contracted and watch how people respond with distance or impatience. Walk in calm, centered, breathing low into your belly, and suddenly, conversations flow. Doors open, timing aligns. Same room, same people, different broadcast. This is where most people get it backwards. They think changing their life means changing their thoughts, repeating affirmations, visualizing outcomes. But thoughts are surface noise, static on the dial. The real signal is your state, the coherence of your entire system in this present moment. Imagine a dimmer switch on a light. When you're incoherent, stressed, rushing, holding your breath, you're dimming the signal. The light's still on, but it's weak, flickering, barely visible. When you drop into coherence, shoulders loose, jaw soft, breath steady, you turn the dial up. The light becomes clear, strong, unmistakable, and the environment responds to that clarity. Not because you attracted it, but because coherence organizes chaos naturally. Watch a school of fish move through water. Thousands of individuals, yet they shift as one organism, responding to subtle changes in the collective field. No fish is shouting commands. No fish is trying to lead. They're sensing each other's energy, adjusting in real time, creating patterns that look intelligent from the outside. You're part of a similar field, an invisible web connecting you to every person, place, and possibility around you. When you change your internal state, you send ripples through that web, and the web responds, not mystically, practically. The person who was going to ignore your email suddenly replies. The opportunity you thought was closed opens back up. The conflict that felt impossible softens. Here's what makes this so powerful. You don't need to change your circumstances first. You change your state, and the circumstances reorganize around the new signal. I've seen this play out 100 times. Someone walks into a job interview tense, gripping their resume, trying to prove they're good enough, and the energy in the room stays cold, transactional. Same person, same resume, but they walk in next time grounded, breathing into their back, recognizing themselves as the energy that animates the body, not the body trying to impress. And suddenly the interviewer relaxes, the conversation deepens, the offer comes. What changed? Not the matter. The energy. The broadcast. The coherence of who they were being in that moment. This is the shift that bends reality. Not your beliefs. Not your affirmations. Not your vision board. Your state. The living, breathing, moment-to-moment frequency you're emitting through posture, breath, and presence. When you see yourself as dense matter trying to push through a resistant world, you stay stuck. When you recognize yourself as energy organizing matter through coherence, everything starts moving differently. And what's coming next will show you exactly how this plays out in real time. Why some people seem to live in flow while others fight for every inch. And the simple internal move that makes resistance dissolve in less than 2 minutes. You know that feeling when everything just works? When the parking spot opens up right as you arrive? When the person you needed to hear from texts you out of nowhere? When the solution to a problem lands in your lap without effort? Most people call that luck. But it's not. It's flow, the natural state of a coherent field meeting low resistance in the environment. When your internal frequency is aligned, calm, breathing steady, the world stops pushing back. Doors don't just open, they swing wide before you even knock. And the wild part? It's not that reality is bending to your will. It's that you've stopped bending reality out of shape with contraction, rush, and force. Here's how time itself shifts. When you're in a stressed, contracted state, shoulders tight, breath shallow, mind racing, time feels thick like you're wading through mud. Minutes drag. Obstacles multiply. You send the email, and crickets. You need help, and nobody's around. That's friction. Your incoherent signal is colliding with the field around you, creating static, delay, resistance. But when you drop into coherence, just 90 seconds of soft shoulders, slow breath, recognition that your energy organizing matter, time becomes fluid. Coincidences stack up. The email you sent gets an instant reply. The person you were thinking about calls. The opportunity you thought was weeks away shows up today. I've tested this so many times it's almost boring now. Sitting in traffic, tight chest, gripping the wheel, stuck for 30 minutes. Same road, same time of day, but this time I catch myself, soften my jaw, breathe into my back, let my body remember its energy first, and suddenly lanes open, lights turn green, I'm home in 12 minutes. Same matter, different frequency. Or here's another one, struggling with a decision for days, turning it over in my mind, getting nowhere. Then I stop trying to figure it out, drop into my body for 2 minutes, feel the aliveness in my hands and feet, and the answer arrives, clear as day, sometimes through a random conversation or a book falling open to the right page. This isn't mystical, it's physics. When you're coherent, you're broadcasting a clear signal, and the field responds with matching clarity. When you're incoherent, your signal is scrambled, and the field mirrors that back as delays, confusion, dead ends. The environment isn't separate from you. It's an extension of your state. And the fastest way to test this is laughably simple. Next time you feel resistance, stuck in a task, waiting for something, pushing against a problem, pause and ask yourself internally, can I let this be easy for 90 seconds? Then drop your shoulders, soften your belly, breathe out twice as long as you breathe in, and watch what happens. What you'll notice is subtle at first. A micro reorganization. The task that felt impossible suddenly has a clear next step. The person who is unreachable texts you. The tension in your chest loosens, and with it, the situation loosens too. That's not magic. That's coherence reducing friction in real time. Your body relaxes, your signal clears, and reality reorganizes around the new broadcast. Most people never test this because they're too busy forcing, controlling, grinding. But the ones who do, the ones who learn to shift state on command, they live in a different world. Not because they're lucky, because they've learned to stop resisting the flow. And what I'm about to give you next is the exact protocol to make this shift repeatable, measurable, and yours to use anytime the world starts feeling dense again. All right, let's make this real. Everything we've talked about, the illusion of density, the broadcast of your state, the way coherence dissolves resistance, it all comes down to this moment. You can understand it intellectually, nod along, and forget it by tomorrow. Or you can feel it in your body right now and know it's true because you've experienced it firsthand. So here's the protocol. Simple, repeatable, and powerful enough that 90 seconds will shift your entire nervous system. First, find a neutral posture, sitting or standing, spine long but not stiff, feet flat on the ground. No forcing, just present. Now drop your shoulders, let them fall like dead weight, and as they do, release your jaw. Let your mouth open slightly, let your tongue rest heavy in your mouth and listen for that tiny internal click. The moment the tension lets go. You might not hear it, but you'll feel it, a softness spreading through your face and neck. Then move to your breath. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 8. Do this 6 times. Long, smooth exhales. Feel your belly soften, your ribs expand sideways, your back body fill with air. This isn't relaxation. This is recalibration. Your nervous system downshifting from defense to presence. Next, bring your attention to your hands and your feet at the same time. Not one, then the other. Both, simultaneously. Feel the aliveness there, The warmth, the subtle pulse of energy moving through your palms and soles. It might feel like tingling, heat, or just a quiet hum. Stay with it. Now expand that sensation beyond your skin. Imagine, or feel, that warmth extending past the boundary of your body like heat radiating off pavement on a summer day. You're not visualizing, you're sensing the field of energy that your matter is floating in. This is you recognizing yourself as energy first, body second. Stay here for 60 to 90 seconds. No naming, no analyzing, no trying to do it right. Just feel. Let the sensations move. Let your breath find its own rhythm. And notice what happens. Some people feel chills running up their spine. Others notice their breath slowing without effort. Some feel a strange expansion, like the room got bigger or their body got lighter. That's the shift. From contracted matter to coherent energy. And here's how you measure it. Rate your sense of presence on a scale of 0 to 10 before you start, then again after 90 seconds. Count your breaths per minute. Notice if you get goosebumps, if your forehead relaxes, if you sigh spontaneously. This isn't woo. This is data. Your body is giving you feedback in real time, showing you the difference between operating as dense matter and recognizing yourself as energy organizing form. And the more you practice this, the faster the shift happens. Eventually, you won't need 90 seconds. You'll drop into coherence in 10, in 5, in the space between two breaths. Your body will remember what it feels like to be fluid instead of fixed, spacious instead of solid. And when that becomes your baseline, reality stops feeling like something you push against and starts feeling like something that moves with you. But here's what most people overlook, and it's the part that makes this shift undeniable in your daily life. The signs your body already knows even when your mind keeps doubting. Your body knows things your mind refuses to admit. You walk into a room, and before anyone speaks, you feel it. The tension, the warmth, the weight in the air. Your shoulders tighten or your chest opens, and you haven't even made eye contact yet. That's not intuition. That's your body reading the energy field around you, picking up frequencies your conscious mind can't process. And the wildest part? Your body never lies. It speaks in goosebumps when truth lands, in spontaneous sighs when tension releases, in the softening of your forehead when you're finally present. These aren't random. They're markers, somatic proof that you've shifted from density to coherence, from matter resisting to energy flowing. Here's a test you can run right now and it'll blow your mind. Say any neutral sentence out loud, something simple like, "I'm here right now." First, say it while tensing your jaw, holding your breath, contracting your chest. Notice how it sounds, flat, thin, unconvincing. Now say the exact same sentence again, but this time drop your shoulders, breathe into your back, soften your face, and speak from that coherent state. The words are identical, but the voice changes. It drops lower, resonates fuller, lands heavier. And if someone else is in the room, they'll feel the difference without knowing why. That's the power of state, not what you say, but what frequency you're broadcasting when you say it. Watch people who've mastered this. They don't rush. They don't force. They move through the world with a rhythm that looks effortless, and somehow, life cooperates. They walk into chaotic environments and the chaos settles. They speak in meetings and people listen, not because of the words, but because of the presence behind them. They're not less dense because they meditated for 10 years. They're less dense because they've learned to live as energy first, matter second. Their bodies are relaxed. Their breath is low. Their attention is here, not scattered across yesterday and tomorrow. And the environment responds to that signal like iron filings around a magnet, organizing itself into patterns of support. You've probably met someone like this. They don't stress about parking, they just find a spot. They don't chase opportunities. Opportunities come to them. They don't force relationships. Connection happens naturally. And you might have thought they were lucky, blessed, or born under a better star. But the truth is simpler. They've stopped identifying as solid, separate, struggling matter and started recognizing themselves as the field that shapes experience. Their internal coherence creates external ease, not because they're special, but because they've learned the one thing most people never do: how to respond instead of react. Here's what that looks like in the body. When something unexpected happens, a rude comment, a sudden problem, bad news, most people contract instantly. Shoulders up, breath stops, jaw locks. That's reaction, and it keeps you stuck in density. But when you've trained yourself to stay coherent, something different happens. The event occurs, you feel the impulse to contract, and instead you pause. You let your shoulders drop. You exhale long and slow. You feel the energy in your hands. And from that spacious state, you respond. Calm, clear, grounded. Same event, different frequency, different outcome. The world stops feeling like something happening to you and starts feeling like something moving with you. And once you've tasted that, once you've felt what it's like to be energy organizing matter instead of matter fighting reality, you'll never go back to the old way. Because density is exhausting, but energy flows. Here's the shift that changes everything. When your identity moves from I am trapped matter to I am the living field that perceives, reality responds differently. Not someday. Now. In the next breath. In the next moment, you drop your shoulders and remember. So here's your anchor. Say this quietly, feeling it in your entire body, not just thinking it. I am not this body. I am the living presence that animates it. I allow reality to reorganize from this coherence now. Don't force it. Don't perform it. Just return to this recognition several times throughout your day. 90 seconds when you wake up. 90 seconds when resistance appears. 90 seconds before sleep. Let your system remember what it feels like to be energy first, matter second. Now here's your action. Drop a comment right now with your present score 0 to 10 before and after doing the practice. Then, over the next 24 hours, pay attention. When synchronicities show up, the perfect timing, the unexpected message, the door that opens, come back and describe it. If this video shifted something in you, hit like to anchor that frequency in your nervous system. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because what's next goes deeper. The next video breaks down the observer loop and what Comet 3i Atlas reveals about quantum shifting. You think this was profound? Just wait. See you there.